Flatfoots and Fools, a podcast about detective games. I'm Andrew, and today I'm joined by John. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, ready to get back into playing games and talking about them.
Yeah. And today we are here for a case of Little Problems. The 25 game from Posh Cat Studio, which is unironically one of my favorite studio names of all time.
It's because you're a cat person.
Yep. Hopefully said little gremlin won't attack me while we're recording. So, Little Problems. What is this game?
Title as a cozy detective game, right?
Yeah, so it's an idol-like, as in like Golden Idol, in the stricter sense, where you are dropped into dioramas, effectively. You examine the scene for clues, you collect words, and then you fill out mad-libs style identifiers and event descriptions. And it's got the same multiple case setup, starting with your simple introductory all the way up to your several scene multi shenanigans at the end. So that's how it's like stuff we've done before, but cozy. So you're playing as Sarah, a freshman in college. You're navigating your first semester with friends and family. You solve minor mysteries like who ate your cupcakes, who got which grades on an assignment, who's pet at the vet when everybody's getting a checkup. Nothing is very high stakes on the scale of detective games.
We're not dealing with ghosts, murders. What else have we done? Huge inheritances,
Yep, some robberies.
a whole ship being murdered.
Yeah, a lot of murders.
Do a lot of murders,
So
man.
none of that. And it's funny because this one fits in. This is the first strict idol-like game to be released on Steam.
What do you mean by that?
So it is the first game that's made with almost the exact same mechanical set as the case of the Golden Idol to be released on Steam.
That's true. Yeah.
The only other one that came out before it that you could kind of fit in there is Duck Detective, which follows some of it, but it doesn't have the same multi-case setup, and you inhabit a character in the world there. Whereas in Little Problems, while you are following Sarah through the story, you don't inhabit Sarah in the scenes. You are the disembodied voice of detecting. Yeah, so it's the first of those. There were several more that came out after it, but it's an interesting way to look like, okay, a lot of people got inspired by Golden Idol. This is the first one that made it all the way through onto Steam.
And as vibes go, this is incredibly different.
Yeah, so it seems to be the first game from that studio. It's reasonably small in scope, but pretty polished. So, like, what does it add to the formula as compared to Golden Idol or change? A big part of it is,
I would argue vibe. Like Golden Idol is far more mature, and Little Problems is like when I was writing notes and thinking about this game, I was like, I would love for my 13-year-old niece to play this game. Like it's just nice.
yeah, so a completely different vibe. It adds some narrative connective tissue. Like there's tiny little visual novel aspects. I'm not exactly sure what the best way to describe it is. There's also some hidden objects, like you can collect some stickers throughout the game.
No, it's cupcakes.
Cupcake stickers.
Nom 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 nom.
And one of my favorite things is they play around a lot with the solutions. They don't just stick to the most basic version of the fill in the blanks. In terms of a non-spoiler stuff, you have the player actually select portraits out of a crowd. Like you have to figure out who some people are and like find them almost in a Where's Waldo type of thing from a description. They've got a family tree to fill out for one of the cases. Some nice little things where it's not just the same exact thing every single case. I enjoy when people do innovations on those mechanics because sometimes you get new options. And we'll talk about that more in the spoiler section, but there's a few that I thought were really cool and I think would be good to see more of generally. It's a bit easier than the Golden Idol, especially in the middle. It ramps up a lot, I would say, in the final third-ish.
Yeah.
Like case, say, 9-10. Like it's considerably harder, but it starts out fairly easy. This leads to it being a bit deceptive in terms of how fast it goes, because you get through the first, half, 2/3 of the game pretty quickly. And the puzzle variety is pretty solid. You start with the basics of who's who and who did what, which is pretty conventional with these games. It does have a lot of grades puzzles, which kind of makes sense for the school setting.
Which is amusing because I work at a university. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you've been on the giving end of these shenanigans,
I'm not an instructor, but yeah.
or you get to watch it happen.
Oh God, yeah. I gotta, gotta do GPA calculations for people and stuff like that. So I was very amused to see them talking about grading basis and stuff like that.
And it's a very like relatable experience dealing with
Yeah.
these group projects. And anyone who's gone through university is gonna you're gonna see bits of what you went through here. They've got a level with some light language deciphering, one with a lot of matching identities from social media. So I do really enjoy having a good variety of puzzles within these games. Because otherwise, if you just sort of end up doing the same thing over and over, just in a new setting, you really start to feel it by the end.
And the hint system in this game was all right. Like there's a timer based hint system, but you generally don't really need it, but it helps that it's there. It will guide you to certain things. It doesn't give you too much, which is nice. You and I are both fans of nudges as opposed to giving people outright answers.
Yeah. And I mean, you can have the answers eventually if the first five nudges don't work. But what are your feelings overall on the game in the non spoiler thoughts?
As I said, I mean, it lives up to its name as being a cozy game. It's not really aimed for someone like you and me who are older men. But I would, as I said earlier, like I would love to introduce my young niece to this game. And it would be really good to have this as the first foray into the genre. It lives up to its name, as I said, cozy. The artwork is anime stylish as opposed to idle, which is very, very harsh.
Yeah, that one's deliberately grotesque.
Oh yes, yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely. And this is like the complete opposite of the audience spectrum. But I
Mhm.
had a good time playing it.
I ended up enjoying it, and even some of the more hardcore Golden Idol fans still find quite a bit to love in this game.
It's hard not to like this game. It tells a
It's a good,
coherent story from start to finish. It is very relatable and it lives up to its name as being really cozy.
yeah. So I think this one's a good recommendation for anybody who wants a detecting game, but maybe a bit of an easier or gentler on ramp. And as long as you're not specifically requiring high stakes in your stories, which
Yeah.
some people do require that, and that's fine. This one just doesn't have that, and you want to know that ahead of time. But now we are going to enter the spoiler zone. You have been warned. So now we can get into the fun details. Like, just talk about the puzzle variety. The first couple cases are pretty simple, like, that's normal for your onboarding cases. You're not going to throw the kitchen sink at the player first thing.
Right.
Like, case four is where I started to get interested. You go to the library, there's a bunch of people with books mixed up, and they added a little database search for trying to figure out who's getting what book. And that was a nice little mini twist to add in. It's not a huge amount, but yeah, like it's a nice way to add some variety without breaking the fundamentals of the game. Yeah. And then the fifth case, going to the vet. Now, this one has some light language deciphering stuff in it, which I actually ended up being really bad at doing. That took me a little while to figure out. I don't know why, just probably how my brain works. Yeah, you're just sort of deciphering a little bit of what the pets are saying.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was something, man. Though the coding system, yeah.
And it's pretty simple. Like, we're not doing epigraph here.
No, we're not doing like code breaking stuff.
But again, like a nice little bit of variety in the puzzles and just enough to give you a little taste of something fresh without going too far into left field. My favorite case was number six, which is the concert. And this is the one
Yeah.
where
Oh, because there was a
you get,
lot going on there. That's like a Where's Waldo?
yeah, it's a huge crowd scene, and you've got to figure out the 10 people who are meeting up for the concert, and you don't have portraits for half of them, I think.
You got context clues and everything for that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to use all these contact clues and figure out who the people are, and then actually like select them in the crowd, and then that portrait gets put into your solutions page, which is something I've never seen in any other of these games. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it anywhere else. And so this is the kind of interesting stuff that people are doing with the solutions that I really like. And I hope more developers tinker with this type of thing.
Yeah, even though it looks very childish or cartoonish game, like doesn't take away from what they're trying to do.
I don't even remember what was in case number seven at this point. Oh, was that study room one?
Study room one, I think, was like the most relatable for me because that's my job, logistics at the college.
Oh yeah, organizing study rooms.
Oh no, is that the reserved one? The reserved room? And they just messed
Mhm.
up the room. And I'm like, ugh, that was literally my work day today. People booking the wrong room and thinking this, and that. I'm like, so this game was amusing for me for that.
Yeah, and this one you can solve it without actually unlocking one of the people's computers
Oh yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
you can figure out someone's password.
You remember the password? Because I have it written down.
It's written down.
Because I wrote it down in my notes.
Yeah, so it's written at the written at the bottom.
Yeah.
I just looked at this. I should remember this. Oh, what was it?
It's so relatable for somebody.
It's not like I will not be late, but it's something like that.
It's something like that. Yeah, it is. I want to move out. I just started laughing at it. Like, yeah, I get it. I get it, kid. And like one of the books one of the kids has is like podcasting for introverts. Colin never stopped talking. And I was like, I feel seen. I feel seen. Shit.
Yes, that one is us.
Like that's us, man. I don't remember which case that was though. I'm like looking for it right now, trying to remember.
Oh yeah, it was like that was a good thing in there. It was in somebody's bag. Just don't remember which one. Yeah, and then case number 8. This one is where you really get into Einstein puzzle territory.
What do you mean by Einstein puzzle?
They're also called zebra puzzles. I'm not sure. So it's a type of puzzle that you can make a logic grid for, and the most common format you'll see is like you have 5 people, 5 houses, 5 pets, and 5 cars. And so you have to match like, well, person A lives in house number 3, has a turtle for a pet, and drives a Ford.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, and so sort of the thing is like they're fun because you can only have one in each category or per person. It's like one person can only have one car, and then once you figure out person A has a Ford, anything you know about the Ford, like the Ford can't be at house number 3, that also means person A can't be at house number 3. And so like they can be a fun little logic grid to do, but after a while they can start to feel samey. And there's another game that we'll get to at some point talk about that most of the latter cases sort of just ended in large scale Einstein puzzles. Whereas this one, for me, it felt like it only really did that once, and that was here. And it's not perfect. Like the grades, multiple people can have the same grade.
I mean,
So
yeah,
it's
that's
not,
normal people. Yeah.
yeah, it's not a perfect analogy, but there, like with the groups, the subjects, some of that lines up that way. And not necessarily bad, it's just doing it too much gets stale. And I'm really glad they did not do it too much here. Once or twice is fine.
Speaking of grades, I was very amused that the main character got a goddamn D.
Yeah, better put the work in.
It's just little problems, man. That's not a little problem. D is pretty bad, man.
Yeah, I mean, I did that in physics, so
I mean, yeah, my grades were not great. I get it. That's why, again, real relatable, man.
case 9 is fun because it feels very root trees inspired.
Oh man, yes, that's with the whole family at the birthday.
Yeah. So the character goes back for the grandfather's birthday.
Yes,
So the whole family's in, and you've got to figure out who goes where on the family tree. And this one, you've got to get people's portraits. You got to place them in the tree properly with their names. I would say it's a very root trees tribute.
yes, I saw your notes for that, and I was greatly amused.
I don't know if it was directly inspired that way, but it feels like it. So I'm going to think that it is. I haven't actually spoken to the developers, and I'm unaware if they have a blog or anything to verify that with. Not easy to find a lot of media from them. Some developers are everywhere. Like, you want to find out anything about Obra Dinn, there's a devlog for that, but not the same for everyone else.
You're talking about the developers for this game?
Yeah.
Ah, I think this is like at least clicking on their Steam page. This is the only game they made. Is that true?
It's the only thing they've got listed, and their website only has this one listed as well, and not a huge amount about the studio. Because, sometimes like you go to a studio's page and it's got the equivalent of an entire Wikipedia article about them, but this is not the case here. Yeah, this case was a fun way to integrate identifying and analyzing people's relationships like just directly into the solutions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But did you notice the guy in the bathroom?
I remember he was there. What was
Yeah.
special about him?
There's no toilet paper, and he's got his pants up. He's just sitting on the toilet with his pants up.
Oh, yep.
I was reading them like I get it that this is a PG-13 game. I get it, but like you're sitting in the bathroom, the character is clearly in fear of the lack of toilet paper, but you're already sitting down. Ah, that was amusing to me.
Yeah, there's lots of little good bits like this you can find on the peripheries of the scenes.
Yeah, and the balance of the tone with like slight reality of you should not be pooping with your pants on, man.
Well, of course. And then the final case is the murder mystery party. And this has been built up for a while. There's been references to this as an event coming up and people being invited to it. So this is the capstone of the whole game. And it was by far the hardest case in a good way
Oh yeah.
because you get to the murder mystery party. So most of the people, you kind of know them already, but they're playing a game. So you have to derive the rules for the game they're playing and figure out what are the events that's happened throughout this party. And that was a really fun little challenge.
Who murdered who, people's motives, stuff like that.
Yeah, because it was like every character has like a weapon, they have some money, they have secrets that they're trading around and trying to acquire. And so you're sort of trying to figure out, like, all right, well, the monkey is dead in the later part and is missing this secret that he had in the early scene. So who ended up with that? I think that was a nice capstone in terms of complexity and ways to finish things off. This game has some connective tissue that's a bit different than what we've seen before. So it follows Sarah and friends through the cases. The connecting story is very highly visible. There's also a sort of little mini dating sim thing. I think you go on 2 dates, maybe, with your choice of 2 different people.
I was going to mention that later. I like missed that part until I was doing my refresh of the game today.
Yeah, like it's a very small little bit on there.
You can either date a guy, Andre, or a girl. I forget which one it was.
Was that Sarah? No, that might be the sister. So that was just a little moment that was on there, like, oh, surprise.
It gives you options and choice of paramours. So LGBTQ friendly. Give you choice.
Yeah, so sort of a question is, does the game suffer by not having an underlying mystery that runs all the way through it? Without getting too deep into spoilers for Case the Golden Idol, you have the connective story following the characters, but there's also something deeper going on that you may or may not catch on to until the very end. This game has the connective story following the characters, but it's on the surface, it's highly visible, and there
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be that hidden element.
It's mostly like, will she pass school?
Yeah,
But it's a story, so you kind of know she'll be fine.
well, hopefully. We never actually get to see graduation.
No, it's the first year. You don't get dismissed right away. I mean, she got a D at the beginning. She could have like a 1.0. Who knows?
Well, that was only one class anyway. Or was it one assignment or one class?
It was the first assignment
Oh, that's fine. There's plenty more time to make that up.
to make that mistake.
Been there, done that, did decent in the class.
Yeah, she says she's gonna work harder.
And I think she does.
Yeah, she does. With the player's help.
So now I think it is time to broaden out into the concept of the cozy mystery and how we feel about it. Because I have bumped into the concept of the cozy mystery in multiple different locations.
What do you mean by that?
That's where it gets fun. It means a couple different things depending on your context. So I went to a mystery bookstore and a bunch of different sets, and one of the shelves was cozy mysteries or cozy crime. And I thought, what is this? And it seems to be, in the literary world, the classic mystery novels that may have been shocking at some point but now seem kind of quaint.
Because they're puzzle boxes.
Yes, and they're kind of societally sanitized. Like, they're not too grubby. They're refreshing to read in that the bad guy always goes down, the person who dies, like, you're not that sad about it anyway. Like, it can be formulaic, but in a good way that you know how things are going to turn out. So, like, the Poirot mysteries often get classified as a cozy crime or a cozy mystery because I guess people feel cozy reading them.
Yeah, they're books and they're pretty much on rails.
Yeah, and the exact journey will change how you get there, but you know roughly where you're going to end up in 200 pages. So then this started to get applied to games. And without getting down a deep rabbit hole of all cozy games and the usage of that term, we've seen some cozy mysteries come up. And so this is a great example of one. And it usually seems to come down to a mixture of the aesthetic and the stakes.
Huh.
So if it's described as cozy, the aesthetic will usually be softer and cuter.
Makes
Um,
sense.
and then generally the stakes tend to be lower in terms of what's happening to the characters in game. I would say those that are describing themselves as cozy mysteries tend to have less murder.
I mean, yeah, murders are kind of nerve wracking.
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes some crime going on, sometimes there's a murder, but it's not Golden Idol, which is dropping bodies every scene.
Murder, murder, murder. Points if you know that reference.
I don't know that one.
What? Hot Fuzz.
Oh shoot, I just forgot that. Because we just watched that like 2 years ago.
2 years is a long time, my friend.
Yeah, I probably forgot some details. Most I just remember the landmine in the shed, or sea mine in a shed, maybe.
See mine.
But yeah, so it's sort of a question of, do we need detective games to have high stakes?
I mean, it depends on who the audience is, right?
Yeah,
And this is a really good palate cleanser.
and like a nice comparison point is Duck Detective. It's got that very cute aesthetic, but even though there aren't murders, the stakes do tend to escalate pretty quickly, given
Yeah,
that
what the
they tend to
hell?
feature blackmail, extortion, kidnapping.
Like diplomacy. And that is one game that the stakes ramp up incredibly high for some reason.
Mm-hmm. While it appears to be a game for children, it is not.
I think yeah, that if we were to put it in order of coziness to extreme, it would be this, Duck Detective, and then Idol.
Mm-hmm. And it's something I've been thinking about with just generally in terms of what is a detective game is, does a detective game need high stakes? And I found my preference is for higher stakes, but not a requirement. And the variety can be good.
I don't think it needs super high stakes.
Yeah. Like I still enjoy this game a lot, but I do like having some murder in my detective games. And so I think as long as you've got enough other games that do have high stakes, I'm happy with.
I think it needs to make sense narratively. Like going to school for this character matters, right? Like this is the most important thing to this person. And when you're going to school, when you're like in your late teens, early 20s, like that's what matters to you. So if you can transfer that kind of anxiety, then you're fine. Like the Nancy Drew cases and stuff like that. I've never read a Nancy Drew case, so I'm spitballing here. But I assume they're not like end of the world shattering stuff, but they matter. They matter to the character at least.
So I read a lot of the Hardy Boys growing up, and those were always like there were stakes. There was robberies, kidnappings, very little murder, but otherwise there was generally like a felony level crime every book.
Felony
So
level
it kind of sits at
crime.
that midpoint. Yeah, usually not the end of the world. Although there was an expansion later that was meant for like teens or young adults. It's called like the Hardy Boys Case Files, and
Mm.
I only read one of those, and it starts with the main character's girlfriend getting blown up in a car bomb in like the first 5 pages. So the stakes really got escalated there.
Oh, that's wild.
Yep, surprise.
Surprise car bomb.
Not what I was expecting. That sounds more like a Golden Idol plot trope.
Oh man, Golden Idol stuff is wild too. So much random death and like brainwashing.
Oh yeah, we've got it scheduled for coming up, the Rise of the Golden Idol episode, which will be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's rare. We haven't done that one yet. Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler.
Eh, don't remember.
They'll forget it. People will forget. It's fine.
Yeah. So anything else you want to mention on this before we ease ourselves out?
No, I made sure I've said everything.
All right. So what else have you been playing lately?
Mostly just getting my life in order and enjoying the summer. But game wise, I played this game and I sped run Red Pros of Borneo, which is the next thing we're going to record. And I have been playing usual Helldivers in my spare time in between work and stuff. But the next game I
Nice.
really want to play is Incident at the Galley House. That's the main goal.
Yeah. So I just played through.
And I plan also playing Sir, We Have an Orc Problem when that comes out.
Ooh.
That's a tower defense game. I just like tower defense games.
Yeah. I just played through Galley House and really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to recording on that one. And next for me will be Overboard, which we've got on our menu to
Mm,
record in the reasonably near future as well. And then one game that just came out that I was having fun playing with my wife was Cat Mailbag.
the hell?
Cat Mail Co. It's a silly game where your cat's running a post office. And yeah, so you got to process the packages to go to different locations. They start adding twists like, oh, well, this one needs to be stored in the cold room. This one needs to be stored in the hot room. This one is heavy, so if you put it on top of any other packages, it'll crush them. So it always needs to be on the bottom. And it escalates from there. And that was just a fun co-op game to play with my wife while we're sitting on the couch.
Did you pick up any games during the Steam sale?
Not a lot, mostly because I have a pretty sizable backlog already. And so I decided not to pick up too much. And I think I picked up a bunch during the spring. So
Ah,
I'm still working through those.
we need to compare
Like,
which ones we have. Yeah.
yeah, I should do that.
Picked up Cat Detective Albert Wild and Crime O'Clock and Case Cracker.
Ooh.
Hank Drowning on Dry Land. I looked at your wish list or your what you had and tried to replicate it.
Ah, that's a good way to do that. But I'll reconcile that list shortly. Yeah. So you can find us on Blue Sky at Flatfoots and Fools, one word. You can join our Discord to talk about any detective game. Link is in the show notes. Our podcast is edited by Peter Crevier. Podcast art by Lolita Gross. And music is by Antonic Music. Keep good grades, everyone.
Keep on searching. Gotta figure out a better outro. If you have a suggestion for outro, we'll listen to that too.